I'm Gabby,
And I'm Matthew.
and starting this Sunday, November 1st, we have live in-person services.
They're going to be at 8 o'clock and 9:30 right here in the sanctuary, and we'll have another one outdoors at 11:30 at our basketball courts.
And if you want to go to one of them, you got to sign up at venturamissionary.com, and the link will be there for you to sign up.
Hey there, I'm Parker, and I am a people pleaser. Anybody else out there love to please people, right? If you are a people pleaser like me, you probably have noticed that you say yes to a ton of different things. Sometimes I say yes to things that I'm stoked about, but sometimes I say yes just to please someone. Anybody else out there do that, right? I may want to say no, but I end up saying yes, and then I end up regretting my yes and wishing I had said no. I cannot tell you how many times I've been in this situation, and I know I'm not alone in this. Even if you are not a people pleaser, all of us kind of have this level of FOMO inside each of us, this deep desire to not miss out on anything epic in the world. And because we're afraid to miss out on anything, we like to keep our options open, right? We know that if we say yes to skating with a friend on Saturday, that means that we could miss out on something cooler that our other friends might plan on Saturday. So because we fear missing out, we don't like giving concrete answers or saying yes and solidifying plans. Everything in our life just turns into kind of like a, oh, maybe, or let me get back to you, or I'll hit you up, or let me ask my parents, or you just leave them on red and ghost them. We say stuff like that to keep all of our options open. Or we flake on our friends. We say yes, and then we end up changing our yes to a no. Maybe something better comes up, right? Maybe we get a little social anxiety and we're afraid of the group, and so we reconsider our option. Maybe we get home and we just are tired and all we want to do is play video games or binge Netflix, and so we flake on them. We change our yes to a no, and then we start to erode the trust that others have in us. See, trust is built over time, and as a way to do that, as a way to build trust, we have to be strong in what we say. We have to follow through with what we say we're going to do. We have a phrase for people who make a promise and then break it. People who say yes and then change their yes to a no. We say, the phrase that we use is that, man, we say you make empty promises. What that means is that your words don't mean anything. We all know people like this. We call them flaky, and we know that those people at a deep level can't be trusted. And let's be honest. This is all of us. We are a culture full of flaky people. I know in my life, I flaked on people a ton. And as a people pleaser, I say yes to way too much. And then I'm forced to have to flake. There's just too much on my plate. I can't fit it all in my schedule. And that hurts people around me, and it erodes the trust in our friendships. So how do we change? I don't know about you, but I don't want to be like this. It gives me so much anxiety when I have to say no to something that I've said yes to. So how do we change? Open up your Bibles with me, please, to Matthew chapter 5, verses 33 through 37. These are the words of Jesus. Again, we've been going through the words of Jesus found in the Sermon on the Mount, which is Matthew 5, 6, and 7. And we've been calling this series, Seriously Jesus. And we're learning to try and take the stuff that Jesus had to say seriously. And Jesus has some powerful words for us about what I've just been talking about. Matthew 5, starting in verse 33, he said this. Again, you've heard that it was said to the people long ago, do not break your oath, but keep the oaths you have made to the Lord. But I tell you, don't swear at all, either by heaven, for it's God's throne, or by earth, for it's God's footstool, or by Jerusalem, for it's the city of the great king. And do not swear by your head, for you cannot even make a hair white or black. And here's this part. I love this. Verse 37. Simply, yet let your yes be yes, and your no, no. Anything beyond this comes from the evil one. This whole section that I just read, what it's really about is simple honesty. Simple honesty is letting your yes be yes and your no be no. This means having the courage to say no to something, even if it means missing out on something cool. Maybe you just don't have the time to do that thing, and so you have to say no, even if it's fun. Living as a person who is simply honest will mean saying yes and then not changing your answer when something better comes up. Why do we do this? Because Jesus wants his people to be known as simply honest, because Jesus is simply honest. Jesus wasn't a flake. And we are his mathetes. Remember from the beginning of all of this talk, that means his students, his disciples. And as students, we are learning from Jesus how to do this thing called life. And here he's teaching us that we need to be simply honest because he is simply honest. And the world works best when we are simply honest. Have you ever had a friend flake on you to do something better? I have. And I remember it being one of the worst feelings in the world. When I was in 8th grade, my BFF, this dude Scotty, I knew him since literally before I could remember. He was born just a couple months after me, and he lived 3 houses down from us, and so we grew up together. And in 8th grade, we hadn't hung out in months. I moved, and we had planned to spend a whole weekend together, kind of reconnecting at my place because we hadn't seen each other in such a long time. So he gets there, and we're having fun, and we're planning all this cool stuff to do, and we're getting ready to go for a skate. And then about an hour in, he gets a phone call from another friend from now his school. And this guy's family is going up to Mammoth that day and is letting him bring a friend. So he wants to know if Scott wants to go with him. And so I listen in to the phone call, right, being a creeper. And Scott, without hesitation, when the guy asked him if he wants to come, said, dude, yes. I don't think I have anything going on this weekend. Let me get my snow gear and then you can pick me up. I mean, come on, right? Like, at one level, it's Mammoth trip, right? Who wouldn't want to go? It sounds way better than a weekend hanging around in Oxnard. Scott, I'm sure that weekend with his friend in Mammoth had an awesome time. But that day crushed me. I felt abandoned by my best friend, and I remember laying in my bed all weekend with this terrible feeling in my stomach. I was literally in pain, the kind of pain that only your best friend can cause you to be in. When we don't live in simple honesty, we hurt the people around us. I've done this to other people. I've been Scott in these situations, and I've let people down. I've flaked on them, and I've also been hurt. I've also hurt people. Jesus is telling us here that that's not what his people should be like. We should be simply honest, even if it hurts us, which it will. It's hard to tell someone no for me, but it's better than turning a yes into a no later. It's hard to follow through on our yeses sometimes, but the pain of having to follow through on a yes is worth keeping our honesty and integrity intact. Look, I live in the real world. I know that there will be times when you have to turn a yes into a no, where you have just honestly got too much homework that you didn't see coming, or where you get called into a last-minute work shift and you have to cancel. There's just no way around it. So here's what I want to ask you to do when you come into those absolutely have to cancel situations. Don't text the person that you're canceling on. Instead, call them. Why? Why call them? Well, a phone call shows them that you take them and your relationship seriously. It shows them that they matter to you. See, I only get phone calls when things are super serious. No one calls me just to talk anymore, right? That's what texts are for. I only get phone calls when things are serious. When you need to flake, call the person. It'll show them that you take them, Jesus, and your word seriously. You know how serious this is if you've ever been in a position like I was in 8th grade with Scott. I know it's hard, and for some of us, this will take a lifetime to get good at it. I'm sure it'll take me a lifetime to get good at this. But let's start by being simply honest today. Thanks, everyone. Can't wait to see you guys soon.